Welcome to Space Events, the show that compiles all of your favorite events in aerospace into one convenient video. My name is Declan, and let's get into it. Starting with the busiest company as always, SpaceX. To start off, the workhorse two-stage Falcon 9's launch cadence for the month is CRS-22 on June 3rd. This is SpaceX's 22nd commercial resupply mission to the International Space Station in low Earth orbit for NASA. CRS-22 will launch 3,400 kilograms of cargo to the International Space Station for its crew after taking off at Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And the Booster B1067 will be its first flight and will land downrange in the Atlantic Ocean on, of course, I Still Love You. SXM-8 will be launched into Geostationary Transfer Orbit and is a part of the radio satellite constellation for SiriusXM. This will be launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at Space Launch Complex 40. And the Booster B1061, it'll be its third flight and it'll land downrange in the Atlantic Ocean on Just Read the Instructions. GPS-35 is the fifth launch of the third generation global positioning satellites for the US Space Force. It'll go to a medium Earth orbit after taking off at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at Space Launch Complex 40, and the booster will land downrange on an autonomous spaceport drone ship. Now going down into South Texas, Starbase, which is SpaceX's brand new launch facility, which has been harboring Starship, the next generation launch vehicle's growth. After a major success with Starship SM-15, it was put back on the launch stand. Elon Musk, the company's CEO, said that he hoped to fly 15 again very soon. But a few weeks later, it was taken off the launch stand. SM-16 is in the high bay ready to go with the construction of Booster 2. But right now, we do not know any of the plans with the Starship program for the month of June. But the first orbital test flight of Starship, the entire system, Starship and Super Heavy, will happen during the summer. So it could happen in late June or July. But right now, we are unsure and we are very excited to see what happens next. A quick update on Rocket Lab. After the anomaly and subsequent failure of the mission running out of tows in May, we do not know what the future holds for launches from Rocket Lab. But all we can hope is that they can get all the data back from that launch and make an increasingly reliable vehicle. That will help everyone in the long run. So we're cheering you on, Rocket Lab, and hope you can get back on your feet soon. At least they did catch the booster and it seemed to be a success, so there will be a silver lining here. On June 23rd, the company United Launch Alliance, or ULA, will launch the mission entitled STP-3. The rideshare payload for this mission includes the STP-SAT-6 satellite and other smaller payloads, which include the NNSA's Space and Atmospheric Burst Reporting System and NASA's Laser Communications Relay Demonstration Payload and other payloads for the US Air Force. The launch vehicle will be the Atlas V and it will be in the 551 configuration, meaning 5 solid rocket boosters, 5-meter fairing, and 1 Centaur upper stage engine. It'll be launched from Space Launch Complex 41 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Onto an awesome Smallsat launcher, Firefly Aerospace will have their first demo flight entitled Dream in June. This demo flight will be for the brand new Firefly launch vehicle, which is completely made out of carbon fiber, which I find awesome, by the way. The mission itself, entitled Dream, or the Dedicated Research and Education Accelerator mission, will be comprised of 26 CubeSats from different educational institutes. It'll be launched into low Earth orbit from Space Launch Complex 2W at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. A company we have not talked about yet on the show is Northrop Grumman, and this month they will launch the NROL 111 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. This is a top secret satellite, so we don't know much about it, but we do know that it's going to low Earth orbit. This will be on top of their Mintar 1 launch vehicle, which will take off from Launch Pad 0B at Wallops Flight Facility in Wallops Island, Virginia. Going on to an interesting mission for Virgin Orbit. Tubular Bells Part 1 is launching 3 different payloads. 3 CubeSats for the US Department of Defense's Space Test Programs, or STP's Rapid Agile Launch Initiative to strengthen national security. Next is the first military satellite for the Royal Netherlands Air Force, a CubeSat called BRIC-2. And finally, 2 optical satellites for Sat Revolution, adding to the company's 14 satellite constellation. This is all launching from the wing of a modified Boeing 747 in the Launcher 1 vehicle, which will take off from Cosmic Girl at Anderson Air Force Base in Guam. Finally, a cool astronomical event is happening on June 10th, an annular solar eclipse. This annular eclipse will be visible in much of Asia and Europe, northern North America, and the Arctic. An annular solar eclipse is where the moon perfectly covers the sun, but instead of creating that really cool total solar eclipse phenomenon, which is like white, it will create a ring of fire due to the moon in its orbit being far enough away from Earth to not be able to perfectly cover the sun in that way. With everything going on this month, it's on to our favorite segment, as always, moon time. The new moon for the month of June will be on the 10th, with the full moon being on the 24th. Thank you everyone for watching this month's edition of Space Events, and I'll see you next time.